Subscribe our Nehra Classes YouTube channel to watch free live training sessions and to avail the membership facilities and additional perks, click the join button. Hello everyone, I Vikas Nehra welcome you all to session number 41 of our ongoing RHCSA version 10 training. In this session, we will learn how can we migrate LVM data disk from one machine to another in RHEL 10. So for this session, I'm going to use two different machines of RHEL 10. This is the first machine and this is the second one. So what I'm going to do on the first machine, I'm going to add a disk, then I'll create the physical volume with the help of that disk, then I'll create the volume group and then the logical volume. After that, I'll create the file system on that particular LVM, and after that I'm going to mount it in my machine on some directory. I'll create some data there, and after that I will deactivate the LVM and export the volume group. After that I will shut down this machine. I'll remove the disk from this machine, and then I will go in the settings of the second machine, and here I'll just attach that disk which I was using on the previous one. After that, I'll start this machine, and then I will scan the volume groups. If they show up, I can directly mount the file system which is there on the LVM. If we see some errors there, we will try to diagnose and fix those errors. We will use certain commands. How can we identify whether the LVM is there on the disk or not? So we will troubleshoot accordingly. After that, once we will be able to find out the LVM on the disk after restoring the physical volume or the volume groups, then we will import the volume group, then we will activate the LVM back, and when it is available, we will mount it back on the directory and we will try to check whether the data is intact or not. So this is the procedure of migrating the LVM data disk from one machine to another that I will show you practically here. So first of all, I'll go back on the source machine and I'll add a disk here. So I'll simply go in the settings of this machine and I'll click here on add hard disk. I can either select SCSI or SATA. Let me go with SCSI. Create a new virtual disk option. Let's use the disk size as 20 GB. Store the virtual disk as a single file. Next. And then we can select the location where we want to keep the virtual file. So let's create a folder here on the host machine, and let me mention the name as RHEL 10 data disk. So I'm going to use this folder to keep the virtual hard drive file here. Click on finish, click on OK, and then we will come back on the command line interface, and here we will check whether we can see the disk or not. Since it is the SCSI disk, it will not show up here. So we need to reboot the machine. So let's reboot the machine. We can execute init 6 command for the same, and this will restart the machine. You can have a look at this. Our machine is rebooting. It will take few seconds, so we will have to wait here. Now look, our machine is booting up again, and let's come back on the command line interface. We will re-execute the lsblk command here to check if the disk is now visible or not. Yes, we are back on the command line interface. We are able to access the shell. Now, as soon as I executed the lsblk command, I can see that /dev/sda disk is showing up there. So this is the raw disk currently, which we just attached in our machine. So on this raw disk, either we can create the partitions or we can directly create the physical volume with the help of the entire disk. So let's create the physical volume directly. pv create /dev/sda and let's verify it by running the pvs command. So the entire disk is now in use as the physical volume. After that, we will execute the blkid command for this physical volume. And we need to take a note of this UUID. This step is very important. You need to back it up somewhere or you need to keep it safe so that you can use it later. Because in some cases, if your LVM is not showing up on the other machine, you can recreate the physical volume with the help of this UUID. So always it is better to keep this UUID safe. After that, let's create the volume groups. So we can execute the vg create command. Let's mention the name as my_vg /dev/sda. And let's verify the volume group by running the vgs command. My vg volume group has been successfully created there. After that, we can create the LVM. So let's execute the lv create command. lv create -L. Suppose I want to create the LVM of 10 GB. I can write here 10G. Then -N for the name. Let's mention the name as my_LV, my_VG. And we can verify the LVM by running the LVS command. So we have successfully created the LVM with the name as my_LV of 10 GB capacity on my_VG volume group. Now we can format it. So we can execute mkfs.xfs /dev/my_vg my_lv command. So this will create the LVM and this will create the file system on the LVM. Now we can check the details of this file system by running the blkid command. After that, we can create the directory which we can mount on this LVM. Let's create a directory with the name as my_data and let's mount it on the LVM. After that, we can verify the mounted file systems by running the df-h command. So directory is successfully mounted there on the file system. Now we can create some data in this location. So let me create 100 files in one go and let's verify that the data is successfully created there or not. You can see that there are 100 files showing up there in /my_data directory. After that, we can unmount the directory and we can verify that the directory has been successfully unmounted by running the df-h command. Okay. After that, we need to deactivate the LVM and export the volume group. So let me show you that all the LVMs are currently active. So we need to deactivate the last LVM, this one. So we can execute the vg change command for the same. vg change -an my_vg. So this will deactivate all the LVMs which are under the my_vg volume group. So the LVM has been successfully deactivated. Now after this, we can export the volume group. VG export my underscore VG. So the my underscore VG volume group is ready to be exported. After that, this step is again very important. We need to go to the /etc/LVM/backup location and download this volume group file. So I'll go here in the settings, and here I'll use the SFTP tool, which is already available in the MOBA extern. Here we will go in the etc directory of our machine. Under etc, we will see the LVM directory. There we will see the backup directory, and there we can see this my underscore VG file. So let's download it to the same folder on the host machine, RHEL 10 data disk. Now we will go back to our host machine. We will go to the folder and we will check that this my underscore VG file is available there. This file is very important because in some cases, if we are not able to see the LVM there on the disk, we can recreate the physical volumes with the help of this file. Okay. After this, we can shut down the source machine and we can physically move the disk. So let's shut down this machine. Okay, the machine is going to be shut down. After that, we will go on the destination machine where we want to transfer the disk. On this machine, we will go in the settings. After that, we will attach the disk. But before that, let me start this machine. After starting this machine, we will go in the settings of this machine. We will click here on the add button, select hard disk, select SCSI, then select the second option, use an existing virtual disk. Then click on next, then browse here for the file. Then go to that file which you have saved on the host machine. It is the VMDK file. Select it, click on finish, click on OK. After you select the file there on the destination machine, go back to source machine, go in the settings of this machine, source machine, and just remove this disk, the additional disk which you added. Always make sure that you perform this step once you attach the disk on the destination machine. Otherwise, it will delete the file from the host machine. After this step, log in into your destination machine from the command line interface. This is the second machine. This one was the old machine, the source machine. This is the destination machine. Let's check whether the disk is showing up there or not. So we can't see the disk yet. We can just reboot this machine again. Let's reboot this machine. Look at this. The machine is shutting down and it will restart. Look at this. Machine is booting up again. And again, this process will take 30 to 40 seconds. So you have to wait. Machine is booting up. Let's try to log in from the command line interface. Okay, so we are on the destination machine now. And if we execute the lsblk command, we can see the SDA disk there. So we have successfully migrated the disk from the source machine to the destination machine. But now we need to check if we can see the LVM there on the disk or not. So we will look for the volume groups. So we can execute the vgscan command. So it is not showing us my_vg volume group, which we created on the source machine. If I execute the pvs command, I'm not able to see the physical volume there. I'm not able to see the volume group there. I'm not able to see the logical volume there. So what can we do? We can scan the physical volumes. Again, it is not showing us the physical volume which we created on the source machine. VG scan, again, we're not able to see the volume group. LV scan will also not going to work because neither of the physical or the virtual volume groups are showing up here. So there is an issue. The disk is having the volume group there, it is having the LVM there, but we are not able to see the physical volume or the volume group or the LVM on this disk. Disk is showing up on the destination machine. So we need to perform the step-by-step diagnosis and we need to fix the issue. So let's check the disk first. So let's execute the fdisk command. VMware virtual disk, 20 GB capacity. So we are not able to see any additional information here, like whether it is having the LVM there or not, whether it is having the volume groups or not. So how can we verify that? We can execute the file command. File-s/dev/sda. If it contains the LVM, it will show you the output like this. LVM2, Linux, logical volume, manager, UUID is this. So that means LVM is there on the disk. If LVM is there, definitely volume group would be there. But we are not able to find it. So we have to perform some steps for the diagnosis, for fixing the issue. If I execute the blkid command for this disk, I'm able to see the UUID and it is also showing us that the type is LVM2 member. That means this disk is used in creating the physical volumes for the LVM. But due to some reason, the destination machine is not able to find the physical volume there, which we created with the help of this disk. So what can we do? We can manually create the physical volume with the help of the same UUID, but it would require the volume group file. So we will have to import that file first. So we will again use the SFTP tool here. We will go in the SFTP settings here of this machine. We will go to the etc directory. Then we will go to the LVM directory. Then we will go to the backup directory, and here we will just upload the file. This file, my_vg, which we saved here on the host machine. This one. And let's verify it whether it is available there or not. etc LVM backup. So we have successfully uploaded the file there on the destination machine. Now Since we are not able to see the physical volume here, we can manually create the physical volume. So let's execute the pv create command. Then we will write here UUID. After that, we will mention the UUID. So just go back to the source machine, go back to the step where you created the physical volume with the help of the raw disk. This one. So this is the UUID. Actually, it is the same UUID which was showing up here on the destination machine. This one. So in case if you missed this step, you were not able to save it, you can get it from the destination machine as well. But it's better to keep it safe at the time of creating the physical volume on the source machine. So let's copy this UUID and just paste it here in the pv create command. After that, we will mention -- restore file option. Then we will mention the path of the volume group file, that is /etc/lvm/backup my_vg. Then we will mention the name of the disk or the partition, and then we will write here option-ff to forcefully create the physical volume. So we have successfully created the physical volume there on this disk. After that, we can execute vg cfg restore command for the my_vg volume group. After that, we will check whether the LVM is showing up there or not. So after running the vg scan command, we found the exported volume group there, but we are not able to see the LVM. So exported volume group is there, which is yet to be imported. So we need to import the volume group. We can execute vg import command, vg import my_vg. And now if we execute the lv scan command, we can see the LVM in the deactivated state. So we can just activate it back by running the vg change command, vg change -a y my_vg. So this will reactivate the LVM back, and now we can create the directory which we need to mount on this LVM. And let's mount it. /dev my_vg my_lv my_data, and let's verify the mounted file system by running the df-h command, and let's check whether the data is showing up there or not. So all the data is intact. It is showing up there in the output of ls command. So this is how we can migrate the entire disk with LVM from one machine to another in RHEL 10. It requires a lot of practice. So I'll provide you the document with which you can manually perform these steps, and I would request you to practice the same 2 to 3 times so that you can easily understand the concept and you can practically perform it. So if you have any questions related to this session, you can ask me now.